All right, fellas, what is happening? Week 16. We're doing our Sunday morning live stream a little early this week. It's about 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We got kickoff in about an hour and a half or so of Steelers and Bengals, but we figured because we can't do a live stream tomorrow morning, we would do one now. Obviously, we got family obligations and such. I'm sure you guys probably have the same stuff going on with Christmas and the holidays and all that kind of stuff. So we figured we'd get on here early. Make sure we can answer as many questions as possible. Our weekly rankings, I will drop into the chat. Mine are updated as of like 5 minutes ago. I just updated them, so I'll just
got mine 1 p.m.
Yeah, so I literally just updated mine as of like inactives and such. So if you guys are just hoping to pop in here, get a quick answer, you can check out the weekly rankings, of course. But yeah, we will go through in depth on a lot of these questions. I'd imagine most people aren't aware we're doing this, so maybe we can get to more questions than usual. Rolando is the first one actually in here. He says, flex, Achane, Eckler, Chandler, Addison, full PPR. Where do you lean on this one? I think I know where you lean on this one. I'm just curious.
Only one?
Yeah, I think so.
Chandler.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're at with Ty Chandler this week, man. Like he's just a good play. Like I don't know what else to say here. Like he's a very, very solid play today or this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Madison hasn't officially been ruled out yet by the looks of it, but I mean, he didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, and limited practice on Friday. Even if he plays, I can't imagine he's going to be more than like a 30% snap share dude. So yeah, I mean, Chandler was good in his absence. I'm pretty sure that the staff has already come out and said, we're going to ride the hot hand with Chandler, and Madison's not healthy anyway. So I tend to think that let's say Chandler has Madison playing or Chandler doesn't have Madison playing. Does that affect your opinion of him at all?
I mean, a little bit. I also want to, like, in that instance, I think it'd be a 50-50 with him and Achane. I'm really curious because obviously he was already cleared for the game, I believe. But again, it is turf toe. Don't know if that's going to be a limited workload. Even if, I would just be shocked if Madison played is basically where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page. And Eckler, Achane, and Addison would all be kind of relatively close. This is a tough decision that you got here, Rolando. Nemesis says, I know I asked this, but to finalize, I think he asked me this on Twitter or somewhere else. He says Freiermuth or Kraft. Where are you thinking there?
Kraft.
Really? You're going Kraft over Freiermuth this week?
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is I doubt Jaden Reed plays at this point if he hasn't even already been.
I don't know, dude. I think he's going to play.
I'd be shocked, man. Like he was.
Why are you saying that? Where do you have the reports from?
So when I was doing the wide receiver video, it sounds like they're really pessimistic on his status. Again, things could have changed since I recorded that Friday morning, but last time I checked, it seemed very pessimistic that he'd play. And even if he does play, it sounds like he's going to be affected. So a little worried there. And obviously with Christian Watson, I mean, that guy's is he going to play? Is he not going to play?
No, he's doubtful. I'm pretty sure he's not going to play. But yeah, brutal. I mean, to your point, Jaden Reed hasn't practiced all week. DNP Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I mean, it's possible that he still plays. He's listed questionable, but I think at some point, maybe even today, we might hear that he's not expected to play or something.
And that's the thing. It's like even if he played, he's going to be limited in practice all week. Tucker Kraft has shown good involvement in that offense, and I mean, if Reed is questionable / limited in this game, I want a piece attached to Jordan Love at this point. I think Jordan Love has shown like he can be a quarterback that can support fantasy viability.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page. I mean, Freiermuth has the nuts of matchups this week. That's the only reason I go Freiermuth specifically in this question is because I think Freiermuth is literally a top 10 play at tight end this week.
So for reference, I actually got to take Henry out because he's out. Let me see where I have them. Kraft, the game. Wait, why is he glitched? Okay, no, I'm good now. Okay, Kraft, I'm just seeing now I have as tight end 16, Freiermuth as tight end 18. So you're a little bit higher on both then.
Yeah, I have Freiermuth at 10 and Kraft at 15.
I'd actually put both over Pitts, to be honest, as gross as that sounds.
Absolutely.
15, 16 for me. I had Taysom Hill locked in 13. That's a big rip. But yeah.
Yeah, he locked in at 20 for me. I wasn't huge on him this week. But yeah, that's a close question. Atomic Juice says PPR tight end premium need 4. Diggs, D-Hop, Pittman, McBride, and Evans. Wow, dude. I don't want to sit any of these players. So, I mean, I believe this is the Diggs game. This is the Diggs eruption. You're sitting Hopkins here with Tannehill probably going to be starting with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a half tight end premium, like you're getting 1.5 per reception for McBride. I think I
Even
would
with no
definitely play him
premium,
more
I'm going
often.
McBride. Honestly. Like McBride has been so involved since he took over this role. I mean, the tight end premium is a cherry on the top, but I think if you were to analyze McBride versus the wide receivers, I think you make the case he's a top 15 wide receiver play. And I mean, like him versus like Ayuk would be a question for me because McBride's legitimately getting 9, 10, 11 targets every single damn week at this point.
Yeah, especially when you factor in the tight end premium. Pittman's cleared to play, so he's going to be a good option there for you. Beanie Weenie says PPR Waller, Kincaid, and Kraft.
I'm curious where you have Waller.
Yeah, I have Waller at 14. I'm not 100% convinced that, he's a guy that you want to immediately start trusting yet. So I actually have Kincaid the highest of this group. Knowing the implied point total for the Bills and the easy matchup across the board for the passing game, I think, Josh Allen's passing over under is like 275 yards. Like I'm rolling with Kincaid here.
It's good process given the implied points, given the implied totals for the Bills in terms of Josh Allen's passing output. But at the same time, I am a little bit concerned about the usage. So they're not far off for me. I have Darren Waller at 12. I have Dalton Kincaid at 14. And like I kind of mentioned, I kind of got locked in with Taysom Hill, which sucks at tight end 13. But realistically, they're very close plays. I love the downfield usage we've seen from Darren Waller. And I think he's got more viability with his targets. I think both of them command relatively similar volume, 7, 8, 9 targets in this type of atmosphere. But the thing is, Darren Waller's actually getting it down the field, whereas we haven't quite seen that from Dalton Kincaid in about a month.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think we're going to potentially see some red zone work for Kincaid.
Hope
that
so.
might make up for it.
Hope so.
Carlos says, hey guys, K9 or Breece? Worried about Breece? No. Why are you worried about him? I guess I'm not worried. Trevor Siemian makes you worried.
Washington makes me feel nice and comfortable.
Exactly. And Breece too, like, if Trevor Siemian is bad, which he is, I mean, you can expect Breece to probably
even if he's bad, is he really like objectively worse than Zach Wilson?
I think he is. I think Wilson would probably be a better option, but like 5 to 8 targets is reasonably in the range of outcomes for Breece Hall. And honestly, I think I would go ahead and project that because when they can't move the ball downfield at all, they just default to like check down to Breece Hall.
Hopefully he does go off. So for reference, one of my puppy teams, I advanced a running back core that has Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Gus Edwards, like a bunch of like sneaky plays that probably didn't have high advance rates. Sans obviously.
Gus was a high advance rate player to the playoff pool, so he's probably fine. And McCaffrey's mega chalk. So outside Henry and Breece are the two that you need to go off there for sure.
And let me just check because I think I had a couple more in there that were like pretty interesting. He's gonna be high advanced, but I know one team had like Devin Singletary, one team had like James Conner. I'm really curious to see like how the pods kind of roll out. But this was just a side tangent. Obviously, we're both rooting that potentially both, if not at least one of us, advances to final weeks in BBM. But regardless, I think this is the Breece week. I'm not just saying that because I have him on that team, but I do think this is the Breece week. We're not going to see this Jets offense implied for the amount of points that they are this week very often, if ever. And like we kind of mentioned with Washington, it's kind of like the matchup of the movable force versus the stoppable object. Is that what the term is? Like it's unstoppable.
Movable force? Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I know what you mean. Like it's bad offense on horrible defense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I had my team that just missed advancing was Breece Hall, James Conner, Jerome Ford, Jalen Warren, Gus Edwards, and I almost advanced that, and I thought that would have been really unique combo of players, pretty much all hits at running back there, at least in terms of spike week potential. So I'm pissed that my Breece team got knocked off. That would have been my second advanced team.
Yeah, like let me see if I can find because this build as a whole is like really intriguing if I can get it through because I have a lot of like high leverage players on here. So let me just see. Running backs. Yeah, okay. So Christian McCaffrey, like you said, mega chalk. Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Jerick McKinnon. Hopefully I can sneak him into the final. Gus Edwards at running back. My wide receivers too. I don't have any like true anchor, I would say, because obviously I just explained the running back core. I have a lot of high drafted running backs in that mix, but Deontay Johnson, probably a player that's hard to advance. Gabe Davis, Jordan Addison, who's going to be a high advanced player. So maybe if there was like a week, Jordan Addison had a bad week, these other guys that I snuck in go off and I don't have to use Jordan Addison's points. That would be great. But Jordan Addison, Nico Collins, who obviously didn't play last week, scheduled to play this week.
Yeah, that's a nice one to get through for sure. But he was still a high advance rate player. So I still don't think like the key is getting a low advance rate player from the regular season and a bad week 15. right? Like you get those two things together. Like, for example, I got
Alec Pierce.
Like I got Roschon Johnson through, and he plays the Cardinals this week. So I feel pretty good about Roschon's matchup.
Yeah, I know. I dig that. A couple of them like have a couple players that aren't live, but like it's like the backup quarterback Kenny Pickett when I have Josh Allen, or one team it's Deshaun Watson, which it sucks because I have Jared Goff, who is also mega chalk. But if I can just get to the final and I have other players that aren't owned a lot, aren't chalk, I'm just hoping that ends up being the case. Sometimes you got to eat the chalk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean you don't really have a choice, and like we can gal brain how to like get hard players through all we want, but like there's a reason those players are hard to get through. They haven't been performing this year, so you don't want too many of them. You want like the right ones. Like if you have some chalky players, like I have McCaffrey and Achane, and some of the players that are pretty common, but if your common players perform well and you get that, like Devontae, I think is my most exciting piece because he was not a good advance rate regular season guy and had a bad week 15. He's the guy that I'm really excited about this week because the Broncos are 7-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to me. Like I have on this team. I mean, I don't know what his advance rate would be, but he's pretty interesting. Tyler Lockett is probably fits that mold where if he has a big week this week, hasn't really been, impressive throughout the year, but we know he has spike week potential. The two that are pretty encouraging here, at least for like just spike week potential and big like time matchups in terms of game environment. Jameson Williams, obviously stacked with Jared Goff, would be pretty nice if I can get that. I do have a Monra, but at the same time, everybody's going to have a Monra. So if we see a big Jameson Williams bomb in that game against the Vikings, I'll be pretty damn happy. The other one's Michael Gallup, man. Like Michael Gallup, he's still attached to this great offense. What if he has a game where he goes out there, 4 catches, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns? Like that's going to be a big time leverage piece because everybody's going to have CeeDee Lamb. Everybody's going to have Jake Ferguson. Everybody's going to have Brandon Cooks, but the amount of Michael Gallup getting through is going to be pretty rare.
Yeah, dude, I have zero in my pod. I have 0% Ayuk. No, I'm the only team with Ayuk, and 6 people have Debo. So, and a lot of Purdy teams as well. So I have McCaffrey, Ayuk, and if those are the two that you need this week, which is, I mean, the 49ers pass catchers and weapons, usually it's like 2 guys go off every single week. It's been Christian McCaffrey and Debo for a couple games now. This could be an Ayuk week, so I'm hoping that it is because I'm the only guy with Ayuk and it's leverage against the Debo teams.
Hey, Brock, you're hearing that, right? Hopefully Ayuk does go off. I'm not just saying that because I play you in the FSC Listener League this week.
Yeah, I also have him in Tone Setter Truthers, so I'm going to be cheering for him for two reasons for sure.
By the way, my team's finally healthy in FSC. My wide receivers, I just looked at it this morning. I'm like, I have Chris Godwin on the bench because my other wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, Rashee Rice, and Nico Collins in a redraft league.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Pick one. He says Nico, Higgins, Addison.
I lean Higgins, knowing that he's questionable.
Yeah, I lean Higgins as well with Chase out.
Yeah, I lean Higgins, but Nico's like top. I think I have him at 20 or 21 right now. Higgins is just, I believe, as my wide receiver 19. So
yeah, if Stroud was playing, I would probably go Higgins, or Nico, but I would say Higgins is the best option there. Ben says start 2 Superflex PPR here. Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Zeke, Jake Browning, Joe Flacco. Worried they limit Breece. Thanks for the content this year. You guys killed it. Yeah, appreciate that.
This is tougher
in terms of the Superflex. I mean, I'm assuming you can only start one quarterback, I would imagine, of this group. I think I would start Flacco, to be honest. And
Flacco,
like, I don't know. Are you starting 2 skill players here? Or are you going to go with Flacco as one of those?
It's close between Breece and Jacobs and Breece and Flacco, but I think I go Breece and Flacco. I mean, credit to Joe Flacco, man. I actually talked about in the wide receiver video when I mentioned Amari Cooper, but the Browns in the last month since Joe Flacco's been their starting quarterback have been top 4 in the NFL in neutral pass rate. Joe Flacco's trusted in the offense. He's making some plays off script. You're seeing upwards of 40, 45 pass attempts per game. Like, there's a world where Joe Flacco may just be the piece you need.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, it'd be crazy if that ended up happening. I think I'm on the same page, though, with Breece and Flacco there.
One thing real quick. Do you think a team that drafted, let's say they drafted like Josh Allen, fucking another backup quarterback, whatever, and then they just mixed in, hey, like what if there's no way somebody
I don't think Flacco wasn't even signed before the season. So you would have gone with, somebody else like DTR or whatever, right?
No, yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, that's so funny to think if somebody actually just somehow randomly.
Well, I'll take a look if anybody actually drafted.
I doubt it.
BBM. thing here. I could see if he was drafted. I don't think he would have been, to be honest.
I could see somebody confusing him as still being on the Jets and not trusting Zach Wilson and just like not being in tune with what's actually going on. And then obviously
one person drafted him and they didn't advance.
Okay, fair. That is hilarious, though. This one from Cameron. Superflex, I have Chase, Wilson, Puka, but running back killed me this year. Should I move 1-for-1 RB plus or just go for drafting one? Is this Superflex Dynasty?
Yeah, I'm assuming he means Dynasty. With Chase, Wilson, and Puka, I mean, you're going to need to get a superstar running back for one of those wide receivers. If you can pull off, like Bijan's on the low right now, and you can trade Puka high off of, the performances he's had for Bijan, like I bet there's leagues where you're going to be able to do that, to be honest.
Could be.
I'd be willing to add in a plus on that even. But Cameron, if you're going to go for a running back in a trade, go for a good one. Go for Bijan or Gibbs or Breece Hall or something.
Don't just go for one to go for one.
Yeah, like if you're going to go for JT or whatever, like use some of your lower end pieces. Like I probably would still rather have all three wide receivers.
Easily. Ridley over Achane. I would go with Achane, assuming he suits up personally. As much as I like it, obviously T-Law coming back this week, projected to play in this game. I think he traveled to Tampa Bay. Report came out today.
Yep.
That raises Calvin Ridley to me to be a top 24 wide receiver. But at the same time, if I bench Achane in this type of game environment with a 50 over under at home and he goes off, I won't be able to forgive myself. With Calvin Ridley, it's like he has the opportunity to go off, but I mean, even despite 12 targets, 13 targets, like the usage is there, the expected points per game is there, but at some point we just kind of got to see him play like it.
Yeah, I mean, given that you're already starting Mostert, I think I would go Ridley.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I think I would go Ridley. I don't love it. Like, I agree with you. I think you don't want to put Achane on your bench and have him go off or whatever, but I think it's probably the smarter play knowing that Achane's coming off of an injury. You already have Mostert and
if
Ridley has
ceiling,
his quarterback.
Like, if you need ceiling, maybe you're the underdog. I dig that. Maybe if you're the favorite, you go safe and you just get the Miami backfield. I don't hate that either. I think the context here is what position is your team in? Are you like projected 165 to this guy's 150? Are you projected like 143 to this guy's 161? Like, what is the
he has some volatile pieces here with Breece and Smith and Ayuk and shit. I think I want to just throw the other volatile piece in there with Ridley and just take the upside where I can get it.
Don't mind that.
EP says, sup, boys. Happy BR, Bijan, Breece, Achane, Pacheco, Waddle, and Chandler start three. So Bijan's for sure in my lineup there. Breece is probably the second guy. And then it would probably be a toss-up between Pacheco and Chandler for me.
I think I'm going Pacheco, man.
I think I would go Pacheco as well. No Jerick McKinnon.
Raising him up.
It sounds like they were pretty patient with him. So, yeah, I would go with Pacheco as well. But Chandler's also a great play. That's why I'm like,
Well, no, I 100% agree. So for reference, I did have Pacheco as RB16. I just moved him up now. The reason being is with Jerick McKinnon out, the last time we saw Jerick McKinnon out, Isaiah Pacheco was trusted in those crucial situations, obviously on the goal line, through the passing game. Like we've seen this before. When it's a Clyde and Isaiah Pacheco backfield, it tends to be Isaiah Pacheco 3-down back season. And maybe I'm thinking like this because this is what we saw earlier in the season. But at the same time, it's like, Isaiah Pacheco is their best back, and he's better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire in passing situations, which I find weird, to be honest, because obviously the main allure of Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he was getting drafted was his 3-down skill set at LSU, and now this guy, you watch him run routes out of the backfield, and he just looks like this little pudgy hamster.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to his pass-catching ability, but I'm on the same page there. Aggie says, Gibbs, Breece, Lamb, Waddle, Addison, Laporta, McBride, Deontay, Javonte, Zeke, Najee. Dude, how is this your team? What? 2 running backs. Okay, so Gibbs, Breece are the 2 running backs. Yes. Wide receivers are Lamb and Waddle. Tight end is Laporta, and he also has 2 flexes. So
flex is McBride.
Addison, McBride, Deontay, Javonte, Zeke, and Najee. So I'd probably go on McBride as the first option there.
It's probably McBride and Zeke, dude.
I have Javonte 1 spot ahead of Zeke.
I would go Zeke. Dude,
I think it's McBride. Like, I mean, I don't think Addison's out of this conversation either.
I don't think so, but at the same time, this year with Ezekiel Elliott, do you know what his live pick'em is? It's like 99.5 total yards on Underdog. Yeah. So, I mean, if we're defaulting there, that clearly means that there's a lot of confidence in the betting market that he's going to get that workload. I mean, 99.5 yards from scrimmage is no freaking joke. And I originally had Zeke as more of like a top 24, top 25 option, but when I saw that
I am at
listing,
27, dude. I'm not.
I moved him
I
up
don't
after I
trust
saw
Bailey
that.
Zappi on the road, a 7-point underdog in Mile High. That's why I'm lower on Zeke. But I mean, like the workload in the snap share and everything is like bulletproof right now. There's like nobody getting a better workload in the league.
Bro, it raised. Ezekiel Elliott's yardage over under is 103.5 from scrimmage this week.
It's crazy.
Against Denver. I'm raising him, dude. Like, honest to God, like I understand, picking it apart, it is still Ezekiel Elliott, but I mean, Vegas knows when it comes to this type of shit, man.
Yeah, I'm not overly worried about Zeke. I'm worried about Zappi and the rest of the offense.
Fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, Denver also can't stop the run.
I don't know. For me, I would go with McBride and Javonte. I like Javonte better this week, but if you wanted to go Zeke, they're literally back to back in my rankings.
Straight up.
So, yeah, let's do Javonte versus Zeke.
I wrote it down for reference. I have so from Thursday we said I have Rice, you have DK, I have Aaron Jones, you have Eckler. So now I'm adding Zeke versus Javonte. What's Javonte's yardage prop? I'm actually curious.
Probably not as high as Zeke's, if I had to guess.
Not even that. I just like want to see what it's at. It's 74.5, which is still pretty good.
Yeah. Skyward, we didn't answer this one. He says one running back, one flex between JT Swift and Bijan. I'm going with
sitting
Bijan
Swift.
and JT there.
Yeah, sitting Swift. Fields or Brown or Jake Browning. It's Justin Fields.
It's Fields, and it's not even close.
Yeah, not remotely close for me. Vincent, 16 team half PPR. Mullens or Browning with -1 point for sack and need 2 from Najee, Deontay, Samuel, or Wicks. Thank you. Good luck and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Vincent. In terms of the quarterbacks, let me see where I have them ranked. Mullens, I have as quarterback 14. Jake Browning, I have a little bit lower going against the Steelers. That game screamed 17-14. To be honest, I'm gonna go with Nick.
Yeah,
Collins.
apparently there's gonna be some weather conditions there too, with some rain and that kind of stuff. All I need out of that game. So I don't know if you feel this way, but like when it comes to like BBM pods, I want every game to be low scoring except for the games of the players that I have. So I need Freiermuth to catch 2 touchdowns and go for 100 yards, but nothing else relevant to happen in that game. Because like I'm in a pod. I think some people have let me actually look on my sheet here. I think there's some Mixon ownership in my pod, maybe. Oh no, actually there's none. Nobody has Mixon in my pod. That's kind of crazy because Mixon had a pretty good advance rate.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Nobody has Mixon in my pod.
Real quick, by the way. So what was I gonna say? Okay. In terms of the rest of the question, that's what I was going to say. Dontavian Wicks is very interesting given the status of Reed and given the status of Watson. If Reed is out, he would be the number 1 here, to be honest. And I think Deontay would be the number 2.
Over, is that Debo or Curtis?
I'm assuming it's Curtis. If it's Debo, that's.
I love Curtis this week. I have Curtis on my BBM team, so I'm excited. And I'm the only one in my pod with Curtis, too, which is surprising because he had a good game last week.
Hope you're right because I also advanced a Curtis team, but with that being said, I'm not going with him over Deontay or Wicks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. If you want to cover some questions, I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, go for it. This one, full PPR, 2 flex spots, 2 to go with: Warren, Singletary, Gus Edwards, and Josh Palmer. Also, Puka dropped 33 on me. Thanks. So you're working from a deficit right now, obviously with Puka having the game that he did. In terms of that, Devin Singletary is not leaving my lineup out of this question. Opportunities are there. Obviously, been playing some good football, so I'm definitely going with him. And in terms of the second one, Jalen Warren versus Gus Edwards is relatively close. I honestly think I have them ranked back to back. So let me take a quick look for you. So Jalen Warren versus who was that? Gus Edwards. I have Gus Edwards ranked as my RB 32 and Jalen Warren as my RB 31. So I'd go with Jalen Warren by the slimmest of margins. Hopefully you can overcome that Puka bomb that was dropped. Already asked my question. I'll try to get to it now. Sorry, it's kind of hard working this on your own. Where are we? Can you re-ask your question there, Andrew? Can you? Oh no, I found it. Okay. 10-team full PPR starting CD, Mostert, and Chandler. Need 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. Devonta Smith, Chris Godwin, Travis Kelce, Trey McBride, Travis Etienne, and Devin Singletary. I'm thinking Godwin, Kelce, and McBride. Would you sit Devonta Smith? So first of all, yes, absolutely. Kelce and McBride are entering my lineup. They are my tight ends 1 and 2 this week. In terms of the other one, it's relatively close in my opinion, full PPR between Devonta Smith and Devin Singletary. I would go with Devonta Smith, but if we hear any other negative reports about his knee prior to Monday night, you're not going to know on Monday, but by Sunday, if it sounds a little bit negative and you want to go with Devin Singletary, I don't mind that. But I would lean Devonta Smith, Trey McBride, and Travis Kelce for what we know right now. Appreciate the super chat. Flex half PPR, Godwin, Chandler, or Ridley. I'm going to go with Ty Chandler here. I just think the workload is going to be massive. Very plus matchup as well. Kincaid or Everett, Merry Christmas, Flock. Appreciate that, Cheeky. Appreciate that. I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid here. Gerald Everett's been playing some better football for the most part, but I just really don't want to trust that Chargers offense if I don't have to. And I mean, it's just going to be more fun watching the Bills offense on the other side, to be honest. But I don't know where we left off at the top here. I'll try to take a look because I mean, Corey was tracking that. But what was the last question we had here for Supers? Believe right here, actually, to be honest. Denver, Cleveland, or Chicago DST. If I'm looking at the matchups real quick. So Denver going up against New England. Cleveland going up against, let me see, Houston. And then Chicago going up against Arizona. So right now, honestly, I think I'm going to prefer the Broncos at this current rate. I just, like Corey said, very pessimistic about what Bailey Zappi can do against that defense. I think they're really prime to potentially get a turnover in that game. Again, I haven't played in a defensive league in a while. I'm not exactly sure in terms of point allocation, but in terms of pure matchup at home, big time favorites, I'm taking that every day. So Kittle and Kincaid, this is easily George Kittle, in my opinion, there, Nuke. Need wide receiver 2 and flex, DJ Moore, Addison, Walker, or Flowers. I would go DJ Moore for sure as my wide receiver 2. In terms of my flex, I would go close between Jordan Addison and Flowers. I would go with Jordan Addison there, Nuke. What's up, fellas? Should I still start Garrett Wilson even if Zach Wilson is out? My other options would be Cortland Sutton. Also, should I start Bills or Bengals kicker, Chiefs or Jets D this week? Thank you. So, yes, I'm still going with Garrett Wilson over Cortland Sutton, in my opinion. I just love the matchup going up against Washington, the most susceptible defense to opposing wide receivers. And in terms of the other question between the kicker and the defense, I think I would go with the Bills kicker this week, given the game environment, given the implied points for the Bills. And in terms of Chiefs D versus Jets D, again, I'll take the matchup. Jets obviously going up against Washington, Chiefs going up against the Raiders. I like the Jets D at home, given the potential game environment we could see there as well. Just think it's going to be low scoring. Jets obviously very opportunistic defense. That's how I'd lean. Full PPR, pick 1 running back, 1 flex, Chuba, K9, Ridley, and Lockett. So Chuba's my number 1 here, to be honest, and my number 2 would be Calvin Ridley, their Packers. Same format, Achane or Ty Chandler. Give me Ty Chandler for now. If we hear any more good news prior to tomorrow, we can update that. But for the time being, I would prefer Ty Chandler. Again, if Madison plays, you put Achane in, but assuming Madison will be out, I do like Ty Chandler's workload. Need higher upside for my quarterback. My options are O'Connell, Mullens, Heineke, Levis, leaning towards Mullens. Yeah, I would go with Nick Mullens out of those options there, Nuke. Deontay Johnson or Ty Chandler, I'd go with Ty Chandler there, Gallo. Classic Mr. Blue. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. What's up, guys? What's up, Bobcat? Singletary, Deontay, full PPR. Give me Devin Singletary there, Pionio. Also, for anybody interested, these will be where our weekly rankings are posted. So if you guys want access to that, just click on that link. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, not a great effort. I'm not gonna lie. We were at that game live. Obviously, a bit disappointing. Weather was kind of sloppy, but no excuses. The Bills went out there and kind of whooped the tail of the Cowboys. I'm not even gonna try to hide that.
Yeah, they kind of got messed up.
Yeah, Mullens or Browning. We believe we answered that in the super chat. It was Mullens. Start 2, Hurts, Lawrence, or Kyler. I'm sitting Lawrence. I'm just really nervous. Concussion symptoms. Kyler, for his own right, has the mobility factor. I do think that's the tiebreaker at the very least.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there.
So you could take over at the top, and I'll read these supers now.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, we got one here. It's because never mind. I started the doc. Okay, no, we're caught up on supers right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Jordan Love, Joe Flacco, Nick Mullens, pick 2 to start. I'm gonna go with the first 2 there, Kels, Jordan Love and Joe Flacco.
Really? You got Mullens or you got Flacco over Mullens?
Yeah, I got Flacco over Mullens.
Funny enough, I actually have Mullens.
You brought it up. Like the pass attempts that Flacco's dealing out there is just.
No, I agree.
I mean, Mullens, I think the other thing that's underrated about Mullens is
Flacco.
that I think he could still get benched if he was playing poorly. You know what I mean? And that would really sink you.
So I actually changed it. So I still have Mullens the highest because I really love the game environment there, to be honest, especially division potentially, not on the line, but playoff spot at least on the line for the Vikings. So I do like that. Joe Flacco is actually my number 2 here. So I would sit Jordan Love. I just think that's going to be a very slow paced game, going to rely upon the running game. I already mentioned the fact that I have Aaron Jones a lot higher. I just think the Packers don't need to throw the ball across the yard, so they won't. And it's evident based on what teams have done against the Panthers all year. It's been usual gross, gritty type of game environments. I mean, we saw against the Cowboys, for example, one of the top 3 or so passing attacks in the NFL, if not number 1. And Dak Prescott had one of his lowest yardage outputs of the entire year. Obviously, that's just a 1-game sample, but I just don't think the Panthers are going to be able to be competitive to the point where the Packers are going to need to throw the football.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Bryce played his best game probably of his career last week.
Yeah.
Again, it was terrible weather too against the Falcons. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like we got some supers if you want to roll back up to those.
I'll go down. Now, for what it's worth, I have Flacco 1 spot ahead of Jordan Love. So it's not like it's a big difference there. Vincent, appreciate that. He says, sup, bros, trying to make finals for the first time. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's get it. Jamar out. Start Boyd, Devontae Parker, or Parker Washington.
Yikes.
I'm going Tyler Boyd here. We've seen in the past, again, for what it's worth, those splits are mostly when Joe Burrow's at quarterback, but we've seen multiple times in the past. If Jamar Chase or T. Higgins is out of the lineup, Tyler Boyd's a good enough wide receiver to command the second in line type of targets. Obviously, we're not going to see it when all 3 are healthy because, I mean, there's only a certain amount of targets that can go around. But with Jamar Chase out, I think Tyler Boyd can have 8, 9, 10 targets in this game. Again, not a big fan of the game environment, but I love the volume that we could potentially see for Tyler Boyd. Talked about him as one of my 5 favorite deep flex league plays.
Yeah, he's definitely a solid option. And Schultz, Pitts, or Freiermuth, I'm going to go with Patty Fry there. Unfortunately, now I'm going to really need Freiermuth and Kincaid to help me this week because my 3rd tight end on my BBM4 team is Michael Mayer, who's now been ruled out for Monday night. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So I have Freiermuth, Kincaid, and Mayer, and I was feeling real good about those guys. I'm like, oh, that's a great, tight end core or whatever, and I have no dead players on this team. And now Michael Mayer is going to be out, and I might be without Jaden Reed as well. So not looking too good so far to kick off the BBM4 semifinals.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jalen Warren or Tyler Lockett. I'm interested to see where you lean here because this is like top 30-ish running back versus top 35-ish wide receiver.
I think I probably lean Warren, even though the volume's been there
so too.
For Lockett. I mean, Warren went off against the Bengals last time he played them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would go with Warren as well for reference. I kind of mentioned where I had both of them, but Warren, I believe, is my RB 30, and Tyler Lockett is my wide receiver 34. But yeah, almost finished. I got hit by a puka bomb, ripped there, just one. That's pain. I need a wide receiver, Agnew, Wicks, or Dubs. This is easily Dontavian Wicks for me. Yeah. Happy holidays to you as well, brother.
Happy holidays.
Alfredo says, standard start 4, Pittman, Addison, Adams, Javonte Williams, K9, T. Higgins, and DST, Eagles or Broncos. I'll just answer the DST right now, to be honest, because I think from a process standpoint, the answer's probably got to be the Eagles, right?
Really? Denver at home in Mile High.
13.5-point favorites, man.
Huh?
I love both of these defenses for the record, but 13.5-point favorites on Christmas against the Giants is pretty enticing.
Yeah, they're both really good options, to be honest. I don't think you can go wrong. This other question's kind of hard because it's standard, right? So
Adams.
Yeah, Adams is probably the best option there. I think Kenneth Walker has to be in your lineup in a standard league. He has a good chance of finding the end zone. I'd probably go Adams, Kenneth Walker, Pittman, and
Addison
either
and
T. Higgins or Javonte Williams. But Addison's a touchdown scorer, so he's also intriguing in a standard league. I think I go K9, Adams, Pittman, and T. Higgins. That would probably be where I would go.
You're sitting Javonte instead of Addison?
Yeah, Javonte and Addison, because it's 6 players here and you need 4.
Yeah. The ones I'm sitting are T. Higgins and Jordan Addison.
Oh, so you're playing Javonte over T. Higgins then?
That's what I was going through. Yeah, in a standard league, I think you got to lean with the running back workload.
I agree with you, but I think both you're in standard you're looking for touchdowns, and I think T. Higgins has a great shot at one. So I would probably go T. Higgins over Javonte, but that would be close. Like it would be up in the
I
air.
mean, for what it's worth on this, they're projected relatively similar points. Javonte Williams, obviously goal line back. You're kind of hoping in that instance, maybe Denver gets a lead. They really grind it down. Javonte Williams, we literally just talked about him. His yardage prop is pretty decent on underdog. I think in standard, I would just go with the touch workload. Obviously, if this is any type of PPR, you're taking T. Higgins, no second thought. But I've really learned in standard, man, it really doesn't matter for a lot of these wide receivers. Like outside of the top 15 wide receivers, you may as well just go with an RB2 because you know the guaranteed workload's there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's the case. I think it was like 20, like RB21 was Travis Etienne in points per game last year, and he outscored like the wide receiver 12 in points per game.
It's nuts,
which
man.
is pretty crazy how that ends up happening.
Yeah. So those are our answers. Appreciate the super chat there, Alfredo. Big time OG to the channel.
Yeah, for sure. Are you back? Are you caught up?
Yeah, we're all caught up right now.
Yeah. Johnny says, will you be doing week 17 and week 18 videos? Not week 18, but we will be doing week 17 videos for next week to cover you guys in your championships. Should you make them? Hopefully you guys do. Nico Collins or Jalen Warren in the flex must win. Yeah, I'm going with Collins as well. Even without Stroud, I still really like him there.
Yeah.
Pick one, full PPR, JT, Pacheco, and Zeke. I'm going Jonathan Taylor there, Jameson.
Yeah, I would go Jonathan Taylor, though. I mean, I got to give some credit to Isaiah Pacheco because I do think this is also a smash spot for him. For reference, I have Isaiah Pacheco at 12 and JT at 10. But, I mean, with that being said, if Jonathan Taylor went off on my bench, I couldn't stomach it in the fantasy semifinal.
Yeah, no, exactly. You have to put JT out there. I think we answered this in a super, but I would start Ridley over Achane, like I said.
Yep, full PPR, DJ Moore or Debo going for a safe play. I'd go with DJ Moore. The target involvement's too high.
Yeah, especially in full PPR too. You know, he's all of his work is going to come through the air. Unlike Debo, you might get some touches on the ground and shit.
Yeah, and like for what it's worth, obviously we know how good the San Francisco 49ers offense is, but it is still, I think, 32nd in the league in terms of pass attempts, I believe, right now. Like they're just so damn efficient. So if that efficiency doesn't go to Debo this week, that's kind of like we've talked about all year, right? Where there's enough room for 3 of McCaffrey, Kittle, and then Debo or Ayuk to go off. But the problem is, you know, McCaffrey's going off. Only 2 of the 3 pass catchers typically go off because this isn't a team that throws the ball 35, 40 times a game. We typically see this team throw the ball 21 for 26, 263 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks.
If they did throw a lot, they'd probably be fucking absolutely lethal. I don't know why they don't, to be honest. I guess, I mean, you have McCaffrey, so you can run the ball, no problem.
Yeah, McCaffrey's just fucking different, man. Like he's just
different. Justin says Amari Cooper or Devonta Smith if you also have David Njoku. Smitty's going to play by the sounds of it. It doesn't sound like he's going to be really. That would have, by the way, my best ball team also has Devonta Smith. So Jaden Reed, Michael Mayer, Devonta Smith put me in a blender this week. But Smitty sounds like he's going to play.
I dropped Smith a little bit still.
I did as well, but I would still start him over Cooper.
I lowered him beneath Cooper. I have Cooper right now, wide receiver 21.
Even if you have Njoku like Justin has?
Fuck it, man. Get Joe Flacco too. Run the party.
Yeah. I don't know. That's close,
dude,
man. I think the
Browns are throwing the ball across the
Eagles' offense. I'm not, super excited about their offense right now, but I think Smitty has a chance to really have a big game. And honestly, I just think he's a better player than Cooper. And when you're in the fantasy playoffs, like, just give me the better player. It's the guy that I trust.
I mean, Amari's been good with Flacco. That's kind of what
he has been. He's a good option, but I prefer Smith personally.
Good player. Where we left off.
Playoff season, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Do we trust Flowers this week as a flex play? Yeah, I do. I think that the 49ers are probably going to get up on the Ravens potentially, and they're going to.
I'm not trusting him over all 3 other options he has, though.
Yeah, I mean, in full PPR, he's pretty heavily involved, but I actually prefer Chandler the most out of these guys.
I agree. Chuba, Ty Johnson, Ty. What?
I think that's Chandler, probably.
I'm an idiot. Why did I say Ty
Chuba,
Johnson?
Ty Chandler, or Ridley in the flex and PPR. I have Ty Chandler the highest here, and then Chuba would be my second highest, but they're all actually, I really like all of these options.
Chandler 14, Chuba 15. So Chandler.
Yeah. All I'm saying, though, too, about Calvin Ridley is like in full PPR, like the Bucs secondary is kind of a problem right now. Yeah. So I could really foresee a 25 bomb from Calvin Ridley this week.
For sure. You have where we left off, right?
Yeah. Right. Is it risky to start Najee and Deontay? Also have Curtis Samuel and Dontavian Wicks on the bench.
I mean,
do you have to start a running back here? Because I actually would prefer to start Wicks. And Samuel over Najee specifically.
I agree. That's how I would play it. If Najee is one of your flex plays, I would change that.
Yeah, I would as well, especially
If you
knowing
have
the
to start
yards.
him at running back, I would still prefer Deontay over the other wide receivers. Though, to be fair, with Wicks' situation, obviously you're not going to know this because it is Saturday. But if Wicks' situation, actually, I'll explain it to you. Would you rather potentially wait for Dontavian Wicks because it looks likely right now that Jaden Reed and Watson are going to be
Christian
out?
Watson's going to be out by the looks of it, no matter what.
For sure.
So even if Reed is playing, I think Wicks is still a better play than Curtis Samuel, at least.
No, I agree with that, but I'm saying I think Deontay as of now is a better play than both. But if both Packers receivers were ruled out, I would prefer Dontavian. So my question to you is, assuming you have to start Najee, would you potentially put Dontavian in as of now? And if Jaden Reed got ruled in, you would switch to Curtis Samuel, or would you just go with Deontay Johnson?
Well, see, that's tough because even if Jaden Reed got ruled in, I would still rather play Wicks than Curtis Samuel. Even if
I agree with that. I'm saying Deontay.
But I also think Deontay's the best option here. So I would just roll with Deontay.
But that's the thing. I would prefer Wicks, assuming Jaden Reed also got ruled out. Because I mean, it looks like Watson's not playing.
Then you could play it that way. I think it's pretty close, to be honest.
You just go with two wide receivers.
I'm not going to argue with you. I think Wicks and Deontay are pretty comparable plays.
Yeah. Can you just start two wide receivers? I would just make everyone's life easy
that's
here.
what I would prefer to do as well.
Yeah.
Chandler or Connor? I'm taking Chandler. No question. Sky destroys.
Agreed there. We got another super. Appreciate that. He says start two full PPR. Achane, Pollard, Waddell, Smith. Have Gibbs, Pacheco, Rice, DJ Moore locked in. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well there, Russell. Firstly, I mean, Tony Pollard's got to be the lock of this group, in my opinion. I kind of want to get another piece of this action. Do you lean with Achane or Waddle? Given the
injury, I got to go with Waddle.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Plus, you're obviously getting upside there because if Pollard smashes, it's probably going to be a high game environment, meaning that Waddle on the other side is probably doing some numbers too.
Yeah. I mean, all four of these guys are pretty decent plays, to be honest.
Agreed. Another super here: Bengals defense or Chiefs defense? I'm going with the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, I'd go Chiefs defense too, especially knowing the Bengals are on the road.
Yep, agreed. But we're caught up in supers for now. I'll let you know if that changes.
Low elo dud sounds like me playing league. Zeke Elliott, Mari Cooper, Devontae Adams, half PPR. I'm going Adams for sure.
Adams, baby.
Fields or Mayfield, that's Baker. That's Fields for me there. Gatto. And then need two, James Cook, Raheem Mostert, or Chuba Hubbard. As great as Chuba Hubbard has been, Raheem Mostert and James Cook are both inside my top 8 running backs.
Dude, James Cook's my RB3 overall this week.
Yeah, they're both
I have
really
most
good
of that 5.
Yeah. Tucker Kraft or George Kittle. You're going George Kittle there, Mitch.
Real quick on that, by the way. So with Raheem Mostert, he has 20 total touchdowns this year. And I figured he had a lot of touchdowns, but I saw it this morning and I saw that he's leading the league by 4 in terms of rushing touchdowns. I'm like, is that really what 2023 is bringing?
This year's Jamal Williams only very efficient elsewhere also.
Yeah, he's on pace for 5+ yards per carry and over 1,000 rushing yards too.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
He's 32 years old now.
Yeah, he's old as shit.
Addison, Godwin, JSN, Swift, Javonte, Monty, Chandler. Pick 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 flexes, PPR. Thanks, boys.
So Swift is the running back.
Chandler, I have ranked higher.
I think what?
I have Chandler ranked higher than Swift.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even see him. So Swift would be one of the flexes then for me. Chandler is the running back. Godwin is the wide receiver for me. I think he's a great play this week. And then Addison would be the other flex for me.
I have Addison over Godwin, but I agree with that.
Realistically, it doesn't matter because you can start we can start 4 of those guys.
Yeah.
So it would be Godwin, Addison, Swift, and Chandler.
Godwin versus Monty's also really close for me.
Yeah. I think it's pretty close game, NFC North battle. That's the type of game that Montgomery kind of thrives in for sure. But it is a tough matchup.
Oh, 100%. So we got a super here quickly from Glenn. So he posted this and then he commented the question a little bit later. So appreciate that. He says PPR pick 2, Bijan, Derrick Henry, Ty Chandler, or Devin Singletary. Wow. I'm going with Bijan and Ty Chandler, baby. Sorry, King. You're on the bench.
Yeah.
Shitting the King.
See, the tough thing is Derrick Henry, I don't know if you're aware of this. This is has had 8 or 9 games of top 15 RB performance. So he's been pretty bad when he disappears, but he also has been really good when he doesn't disappear. And he's super volatile this week. And if Tannehill's going to start, I don't know if that helps or hurts the offense. It's probably just a neutral situation. But
to be fair, Tannehill is going to keep them probably in better game scripts, whereas Will Levis is going to have.
They're at home too, and they've been much better at home versus on the road. Tennessee, they have been really solid at home, actually.
If Ty Chandler was
Hawks, Swift didn't find the end zone last week against Seattle, but he was very efficient against them.
No, I agree. Now, the thing is that Ty Chandler just has a much better projection, so he's got to be the answer. But I would not be shocked if Derrick Henry just had 15 carries for 100.
It's also a PPR league too, and Chandler's going to be better, and Bijan are going to be better in the passing game.
For sure. Got another super here. Oh, two are Purdy. I'm going with Purdy. Quarterback 7 versus quarterback 8.
Slightly higher. You got San Fran at home, so that's I think this is going to be. Tell me if you think differently. In BBM 4, if you don't have Christian McCaffrey this week, it might be a problem for you. I think we might get another game out of Christian McCaffrey like we got last week, and this time we won't have the James Cook game or I think it'll be McCaffrey way ahead of everybody in terms of the running back scoring this week.
Call me crazy. I think this might be a George Kittle game.
I hope it's an Ayuk game. Also,
fair play.
Could be a Kittle game, but I mean, you got San Fran at home, so I think they're probably going to have a pretty good
26 implied points.
Yeah. Plus,
Baker,
the Ravens, who have they beaten? The Ravens, they've been kind of fraudulent, realistically.
I mean,
they're
what
good.
team
They're
in the
good
NFL?
Team, but they're not.
Real talk. What team in the NFL outside of San Fran hasn't been fraudulent at some point this year? Basically.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say the best team in the AFC.
I actually think the answer is Buffalo because they've just lost some heartbreakers. They've not really been fraudulent.
They also lost the
Patriots.
Patriots.
Had some stupid turnovers and shit.
I mean, to be fair, we joke about how the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. The Bills lost to the Patriots. We have to.
But they also annihilated the Dolphins and Cowboys.
Oh no, 100. I'm not saying it as the Bills are fraudulent.
Their losses, they lost on a punt return touchdown to the Jets in week 1. They lose to the I'm not saying fraudulent. They've just been stupid.
No, I agree, but at the same time, it's
when you look at signature wins this year, the Bills might have the second most behind San Fran.
I think the Bills right now are the second best team in the NFL for the record,
which is crazy because they still no lock to make the playoffs.
And that's why, in my opinion, people who look at records, for example, when the Eagles are 10-1, I had to say, okay, whatever, they're winning these games, they're 10-1. We're starting to see now in this 3-game losing streak that the problems we were saying when they were 10-1 and all the people that are oh, you're just fucking arrogant. They're 10-1. They're the best team in the NFL. It's you can't look at a record to dictate.
They're balancing themselves out. Same with the Steelers when they were fucking 6-3 or whatever they were at one point.
Dude, it's people are so quick to just suddenly say right now, oh, X team is better than Y team because of, the record. But at the same time, when does record ever dictated who's the better team? I hate to throw this around if there's any Vikings fans in the chat, but did anybody seriously think the Vikings were a top contender when they were 13-4 last year?
Yeah, no, it was wild that they were just automatically dismissed as a good team. And same with the Giants too. They were a 10-7 football team, and they went into every game underdogs on Vegas. It was Vegas was you're not a good team. You're just getting lucky.
Yeah. By the way, I want to address this, but I just see this. Brock, third best team. Let's not get that twisted.
Hey, the Bucks are getting hot at the right time.
Dude, real talk. I already see divisional round weekend in the NFC happening right now. So the 6-seed Rams will knock off the 3-seed Lions. The 2-seed Eagles will win a narrow one against the 7-seed Vikings, a gritty, classic Lincoln Financial Field type of classic, maybe a last-second field goal. The Cowboys Bucks, it's not probably going to be as bad as it was last year, but I would be pretty confident saying that I think we're going to win that.
I think it would be a close game, to be honest. I think we match up pretty well with you guys.
I like how we match up too, but regardless though, divisional round, I think it's end up going to be the 49ers hosting the Rams, the Eagles hosting the Cowboys, and I think we eventually get a San Francisco versus Dallas rematch with San Francisco beating the crap out of us again, because that's what they do.
Yeah, that's typically what happens.
But yeah.
Are you saying that the Eagles are going to get knocked off in round 1?
No, it's round 2, I said.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I said we beat them. No. I said they win a narrow one against the Vikings or something, whoever gets this, or the Packers or something.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the 7 seed at this point. Really, we're going to learn a lot more about the AFC or NFC playoff picture in the next couple of weeks, because I think one of the Vikings or the Packers are going to end up being the 7 seed with the Rams getting the 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically still possible for 2 NFC South teams to get in, because if the Saints...
It got lowered dramatically.
They did, but if the Saints beat the Bucks next week, then that increases the chance that the Saints can make the playoffs, and also the Bucks could still sneak into the wild card.
For sure. But let's get through a couple super chats. Obviously, we had a nice little tangent there talking about the potential playoffs. Got a couple more here. One from Antarctis. He says half PPR, Deontay, Sutton, or Ridley. Mostert, Jacobs, and Barkley are my running backs and my flex. Out of these wide receivers, you only get to start one. I'm starting Calvin Ridley now with T-Law versus Sutton's close. I got to go with Calvin Ridley, though, with T-Law.
Yeah, I'm taking
healthy.
Ridley over Sutton.
Yeah, so I raised that for the record. Obviously, on my wide receiver video, I was under the assumption that Trevor Lawrence would not be playing because typically concussion protocol, quarterbacks, we see teams usually be a little bit more careful with that. But, I mean, guy's tough as shit. I don't even know if I want to call it tough as shit. It's
he just cleared the protocol by the sounds of it.
That shit scares me, man. I always want to see extra precaution. I don't like people rushing back from that type of crap.
Yeah, no, especially because it's like, it almost feels like, oh, the Jags are playing poorly. We need him back. Kind of energy.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like concussions.
They've lost 3 in a row.
They have lost 3 in a row, and they're in danger of losing their division because if, I
think you guys beat them, man.
Like Cleveland's not a superpower. If Case Keenum knocks off the Browns and CJ Stroud is back for week 17 and 18, like the Texans could win that division.
Dylan, did we not read this?
No, we didn't. You skipped over because you skipped down to somebody.
My apologies then. I just saw him comment. No, my apologies, brother. Baker, Tua, and Mixon or Mostert. Merry Christmas. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you as well, Dylan. I'm going with Tua, and I'm going with Mostert here.
Yeah, go with the 2 Dolphins.
Yeah, my apologies. Just skim by. Do we have any more here? Boom. Flex Cooper or Zeke, half PPR. Half PPR, I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott, to be honest.
Yeah, this would be pretty close, though. I think I'll take Zeke, too.
Like this is, in my opinion, top 24 wide receiver versus top 20 running back, and a half PPR.
I think quite that high. It's like a top 24 versus top 24 for me.
Fair. We got one here from Jay Dollar Sign. 1 PPR, sit 1, Zeke, Pittman, or Achane. Achane safe to start. Limited on Friday. His floor scares me. I mean, if you're scared of both, I still got to go with Achane and Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, in a full PPR, Pittman just gets all like locked on for targets, so he has to be the first guy on this list. And
yeah,
it's what you need. Like the safe floor play is Zeke, the high ceiling play is Achane. So yeah. What do you need? That's basically where you're at.
Agree with that. Got one from Rebecca. Appreciate that. Flex, Gus Edwards, Josh Palmer, or Roschon Johnson. Relatively close question. Now, if this is half PPR, I'm going with Gus Edwards. If this is full PPR, I'm probably lean Josh Palmer. That's close, man.
I think I lean Gus regardless of the format, to be honest.
Fair.
I think he's the best play here. I actually really do like Roschon Johnson this week.
Oh, I have too.
In my running back rankings tier list, which I showcased earlier today, I actually had Gus Edwards at 30, the end of the low end or the flex plays or whatever. And then Roschon was my first deep league flex play at 31. So, I mean, Roschon outsnapped Khalil Herbert and Foreman last week combined. Like he played more snaps than both of those guys combined. Foreman's actually coming into this game questionable as well. So I'm excited about on my BBM team that advanced. I actually have both Roschon and Foreman on it. So I think it would be dope if Roschon had a monster blow up game this week, maybe like got hurt at the end of the game. And then Foreman's the workhorse in week 17.
I have Foreman on a team. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind sneaking him into a final if I make that. That's for sure. Guys, super here. What's up, guys? Quarterback 6-point passing touchdown. Kyler T. Bengals good play against the Steelers. So, first part, Bengals good play against the Steelers. It depends on the other options. I think they're a fine play. To be honest, I wouldn't mind streaming them this week. In terms of the quarterback question, I have Kyler the highest.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 6-point it makes it closer, obviously, because I mean Mullens and Wilson, have touchdown ceilings from a passing standpoint, but at the same time, I mean Kyler's all-around package I think is higher. No. Yeah.
Sus.
Yeah, I was going to address that.
Warren or Swift. I'm going Swift there, not close. And then Wicks or Palmer. I'm probably going Wicks. Yeah, I think both guys are pretty decent plays, though.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So we're caught up on supers. We can get back to the top. You want to close this at 4 just to make sure our lineups are set? Or do you want to do like 4:10 or something?
Yeah, 4:10 is good. I think the game doesn't kick off until 4:30.
Right?
4:30, I think.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Okay.
So we got some time, regardless. But yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us again. We will not be live tomorrow. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter. Weekly rankings are dropped in the chat. We'll pin them maybe in the comment of this video. They're also pinned in the running back tier list comment section as well. So if you want to go just get your question answered there quickly. Start Taylor Hall this week. Taylor Hall. I would go Jonathan Taylor there. Daniel,
I would go Hall.
Paying over
$100.
What's up?
I'd go Hall.
Oh, I'm going Taylor, dude. No Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor's back to a
100.
full goal. I'm taking JT all day.
This more so just I'm high on Breece Hall. I have him as my RB9. I
Yeah.
love the matchup against Washington.
Yeah. Real quick, actually, before we answer a couple more questions, I did want to showcase the new feature on our site just because I think it's super, super cool and it's going to be awesome for us making videos. So, for example, Danny, what was a recent trade that you made in Dynasty?
Dynasty, most recent one I made. I can't think off my head most recent, but I can just check a trade that I made maybe earlier. I mean, you'd probably want it recent. I made one. Was it no flocking? No, it was Toneslayer Truthers. Toneslayer Truthers. I'll just go to that. So I got Rashad White, Romeo Dubs. I got Romeo Dubs. I'm just
okay. Well, either way,
first.
I just needed one player's name.
Oh,
anyways,
right.
The feature that we have now is that when you type in a player's name, like you're looking to trade for Rashad White, you can now see recent trades pulled from Sleeper that include Rashad White. So now,
awesome.
let's say, for example, you wanted to trade for Rashad White and you wanted to trade away like Javonte Williams, somebody probably closely ranked in Dynasty rankings. You can actually see trade packages that include both Javonte Williams and Rashad White that have happened recently as well. And we've also added specific picks. And I'll add those into my my rookie rankings. So like the rookie 101, for example, you can put in there and you can like submit that and it'll show kind of like how even the trade is. Like they're robbing you, right? You're giving up the 101 for Rashad White, like obviously. So if you guys are
like the 109
calculator, you can customize it to your league settings. Very soon we'll have the ability for you guys to actually import your teams, your sleeper ID, and import all of the information that you guys need to import. So going to be a lot of cool stuff coming this offseason. If you guys are not Dynasty players, highly encourage you to get into Dynasty this offseason. The season never ends with Dynasty. It's the best game in the world. And also, if you do play Dynasty, we got a lot of cool stuff coming to the site specifically for Dynasty players. I believe the Dynasty Land guys are actually dropping a early draft guide on Christmas Day as well. So if you guys are interested in like prospect write-ups and all that kind of stuff, they're going to have all the prospects covered for you right away. And then me and Danny are going to go throughout the offseason doing film breakdowns and player cards and all that kind of stuff as well. So a lot of cool stuff coming to the site. Just thought I'd quickly shout out that new feature that we got.
Gonna be exciting. By the way, Corey, is that a Team Canada jersey or am I tripping?
No. My landlord actually bought me this.
That's dope. What?
Yeah, it is dope as shit, dude. He went to Florida for a couple days, and I've been sending him like the weekly rankings and like our draft guide and like giving him advice all season. And this is his first year playing fantasy, and he's like in the semifinal this week, and his team is like pretty disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. So when he was in Florida, he bought me this, and he was like, "Hey, I got you a sweater or whatever while I was in Florida for all the free fantasy advice." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." But it's like a cool little like crew neck or whatever, which I thought was dope.
Dude, from my angle, I just saw like the black top with the white and the red on the side. I'm like, yeah, that's gotta be Team Canada, right?
Yeah, no, it's pewter too. It's like the color of the Bucks. Yeah. It's not black. It's like the pewter colored, like the pants that we have or whatever.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Dope. Not a bad little setup.
Speaking of Team Canada, by the way, World Juniors is going to be fun over like the next few weeks.
Yeah, your boy, the Kitchener Rangers player for the Habs, Philip Mazar or whatever. I saw he's going to be playing for what's it called?
Slovakia. Sorry,
Slovakia. Yeah. And the Kitchener Rangers leading scorer, who actually leads all of the CHL in scoring, is going to be on Team Canada.
Let's go. It'll be interesting, man. By the way, the Rangers are fucking like tearing up the O right now.
I know. Yeah, I know. They've been really good this year.
Dominant team. Achane, Addison, and Chandler need 2. I'm sitting Addison here out of these options. They're just really good options.
Yeah, I'm sitting Achane. I like Addison slightly better.
Really?
But again, if you're like, I can't stomach leaving Achane on the bench because he could absolutely snap this week, I'm fine going Chandler and Achane there. But Addison would be actually the guy that I have ranked higher.
Achane versus Addison straight up PPR.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's rock it. So we have 4 right now I've listed here. Obviously, if we come up with a few before the stream ends, the 4 that I have listed from Thursday to today, I have Rice against your DK Metcalf. I have Aaron Jones against your Austin Eckler. I have Ezekiel Elliott against your Javonte Williams, and I have Devon Achane against your Jordan Addison.
I think we had Frymuth and Kraft, no? Too?
Right. I forgot to ask that one. Kraft.
Yeah, I'm nervous now, dude. I don't love that both my tight ends are playing today. Freiermuth in this game and then Kincaid on the night game, because I thought I had Mayer as like a back burner. Okay, like if my tight ends don't perform, at least I have Mayer on Monday, and then I'd have like a Monday night miracle player if I needed like a monster game out of somebody. But now that Mayer isn't playing, I'm like, I need a good tight end performance today, which is sketching me out.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Hopefully Freiermuth does go off because I do have him and Laporta on one of my teams.
Well,
So it'd be nice.
He had 9 for 120 yards against the fucking Bengals last time he played them.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. Pick 2 for PPR: JT, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, and Jahmyr Gibbs. This is Gibbs and JT for me.
Yeah, I'm rolling Gibbs and JT as well.
Yep. Got this cheaper here from R. Durbez. Appreciate that. Deontay or Nico. Give me Nico Collins there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, so we're caught up on supers for now. You can go to the top and we can rip a few more. And then I think, like I said, like we should close this off at 410 to give us an opportunity to, catch up, maybe make something prior to the games, and of course set our lineups too.
Yeah, I'm going out from Oso. I don't know if you've been there in Waterloo. It's a fucking awesome pizza place.
Never been.
So good. So good. If
That's
you ever
what's
go to
up.
Waterloo, go there. It's fucking unreal. Should I start Freiermuth or Waller this week? I'm going
Waller.
Freiermuth, dude. I fucking love Freiermuth this week.
I really like
not
Waller.
confirmation bias. He has literally the easiest matchup in the league, and he had 11 targets for nine catches, 120 yards last time he played the Bengals. And Mason Rudolph, for what it's worth, also kind of like a tight end whisperer. Every time he's played for the Steelers, he's actually been really good for the tight end position.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would still go with Darren Waller. I just think the focal point of the offense, advantageous matchup against Philly's linebackers. I still like Darren Waller, to be honest. But I mean, I think they're relatively similar plays.
Yep. Start 3 of Palmer, Brian Robinson. Well, Brian Robinson isn't playing. He's been ruled out.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards, Deontay Johnson, OBJ, Noah Brown, Elijah Moore, Gerald Everett, 1.5 tight end premium. So Palmer, Gus, and Deontay are probably the best options here.
I'm going with Noah Brown over Palmer.
Really? You're going to go Noah Brown even though Collins is playing and Case is starting?
Yeah, they're both.
I personally wouldn't. I would go with Palmer over him. I actually would start Jerome Ford over Noah Brown too.
Oh, I can't go there. I would do Noah Brown versus Jerome straight up.
Let's do it. I mean, Jerome played the Bears last week, and the Bears have low-key been one of the best defenses in the league. And prior to that game, Jerome Ford had like 6 straight games of like 12 to 14 fantasy points at PPR. So he'd been like really consistent. And we know what Flacco's doing through the air. I actually low-key want to change my answer. I would go Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Deontay Johnson, and sit Josh Palmer.
Wow. Okay.
Josh Palmer caught a fucking lucky 80-yard touchdown last week. Like he's not good.
I mean, I would still go Noah Brown in that mixture.
Yeah. No, completely a non-answer from us there for Cats took over, but
apologies.
Hopefully, good luck with that one. That one's a difficult one.
Is that Cat Stafford?
Or Chandler scared Brown is taking over the Bengals backfield. God, I hope so, dude. I advanced Chase Brown on my.
Is that Cat Stafford?
Team. Huh?
Cats took over. That's Cat Stafford, right?
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, if Chase Brown has a monster game this week, by the way, Chase Brown is only on like 2,000 remaining teams in BBM.
I don't know if I advanced one, man.
And none of the people in my pod have Chase Brown. I'll actually show you guys real quick, just so you know who I'm rooting for this weekend, because we're not going to hear. I'm not going to give you guys any updates, really. I will on Twitter, obviously, but I just want to show you guys who I'm rooting for. So this is my my team that I advanced. I got Jalen Hurts. Is the guy that I need to go off because Jared Goff is like mega chalk after last week in my pod. And then Christian McCaffrey, obviously mega chalk this week. Achane, surprisingly mega chalk, just because he didn't really have a good game last week, but because he was such a high advance rate player, he still got through a lot.
Yeah,
Javonte is my leverage piece here. I need Javonte to have a monster game. Roshan, also a very good piece here. Chase Brown, 0%. Devonta Smith, 7%. London, also a good option. Addison, pretty chalky. Ayuk, Sutton, Reed, if he plays, and Curtis Samuel, I'm excited about. Getting 7% Sutton, or like only one other team having Sutton, was pretty surprising to me because he had an okay week and he was a very high advance rate player. And then Freiermuth and Kincaid are my 2 guys that I'm really relying on this week. With Mayer being out, that kind of hurts me because he was actually 0% owned in my pod. So that would have been nice if he would have.
Pick 2, Ayuk, Zeke, or Rashee. Happy holidays. Rashee is a lock, and Ayuk is
and Ayuk is probably number 2 there.
Yep, I agree with you.
But yeah, I don't know if we actually answered this. I played Chandler though, Mike, by the way.
Easily. Yeah.
Broncos or Chiefs? I'm going. That's close, man. I think they're both outstanding plays this week, but I would go with Kansas City.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Kincaid or Freiermuth, those are the two guys I got to rely on. If I had to choose between them, I would pick Kincaid. I think he's the better option.
Question I got for you, Bush. I'll just
up?
ask it. Are you going with Brandon Cooks or Adam Thielen in a half PPR? Actually, I'm going Brandon Cooks. I
Cooks.
thought it was full. I thought it was full.
I'd go with
full. Would have been interesting, but yeah, no, I agree.
Kenny Pickett is expected to return in week 17, apparently.
What? Why? Wait, dude, I have a Kenny Pickett mixed with Josh Allen. Imagine Kenny Pickett is the piece you need in week 18. I advance that team.
I've been saying.
Dude, like Kenny Pickett just has like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 go to Pat Freiermuth in the last week of the year. Who do the Steelers even play? Who do they play next week?
They play the Seahawks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Okay, so we need to make sure our own lineups are set and all that good stuff. Tony, this is a good one to end it off on. Merry Christmas, Corey and Danny. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Happy holidays, whatever you guys celebrate. Do we have anything else? No, we don't have any more super chats. But again, I will drop the weekly rankings one more time into the chat if you guys are just getting in here and you just want a quick answer, start, sit decision. Our rankings are completely up to date, and we will make sure to update them tomorrow morning as well. So if you need a question answered by then, you can go to the link in the pinned comment of the running back tier list video. That will be where you can find the start, sit rankings there. So if you need help, also you can reach out to us on Twitter or whatever if you need. I do believe we are caught up. Yeah, so appreciate you guys for joining us. Good luck this week. Hopefully we see you next week for week 17. We want those fantasy championships coming home. I got 2 semifinal teams in managed leagues plus my BBM team that I'm going to be sweating out. Danny, I believe you have a couple semifinals in managed leagues as well.
Draft or overall for you?
I have neither of my redraft leagues. I got bounced round 1 in both of them. But I did get through and get faded, and I got through in tone setters because I was on bye, obviously. Still sad and mad at myself for playing Nick Mullens over Bryce Young because that would have been the difference. Or sorry, Bryce Young over Nick Mullens because that would have been the difference between me making the Bitcoin League final or semifinal and me not. So that's
we got a couple here. My apologies. I didn't even, it was further up. I guess we were probably in a tangent when it happened. So my apologies here. Levis unlikely to play. D Hop or Boyd. Give me DeAndre Hopkins there, Bruce. And the other one that just came in, we got 2 more quickly. Want to make sure you guys are covered. Appreciate you guys for the support. Full PPR, double flex. RBs get 3 points per catch. So that is a very special league. Lamar, Pacheco, Zeke, Tyreek, Diggs, Devontae Adams, Rice, Freiermuth, benches, Singletary, Chandler.
If running backs get 3 points per catch, there's 0 chance Austin Eckler's not in my lineup.
Yeah.
0 chance. Zeke, you have to put Zeke on the bench and Eckler in. I realize Eckler's been horrible on the ground, but dude, 3 points per catch, Eckler has to be in the lineup.
What about Chandler?
Yeah, fuck.
I'm not sitting Chandler.
Are you going to go Chandler and Eckler, or are you going to go Pacheco
Chandler and Pacheco?
You're sitting Austin Eckler in a league format where you get 3 points per catch. The guy is a lock for 6+ targets this week. A lock.
Pacheco's been involved every single time Jerick McKinnon's been in the line.
He has been, but Eckler could literally rush for 2 yards a carry and still drop 20 points in this league format.
In the 2 games prior to him getting hurt, he had 5 targets, 4 targets. He had 5 receptions, 3 receptions. So it's not like you're getting a complete 0 to Pacheco.
You're not getting a complete 0, but I'm pretty sure Austin Eckler's shit games are 5 targets.
I mean, as of late, it hasn't. Eckler, 6 targets, 7 targets, 3 targets, 6 targets, 3 targets in his last 5 weeks. And then we're also keeping in mind we're weighing the recent trend more because obviously Easton sticks at quarterback.
Yeah, but he also was taken out of the game because they were getting annihilated last week.
I would still go with Pacheco and Chandler, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going with Chandler and Eckler for me.
So why Chandler over Pacheco for you, knowing that the
Chandler is the better play? I have Chandler ranked higher, and he also is more involved in the passing game.
You have Chandler still ranked higher, even with Jerick McKinnon out of the lineup. We are doing that full PPR 100%.
Let's do it.
Chandler versus.
I will say though, if Madison is ruled in, I would bounce him below him.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that caveat.
Anyways, Andrew says, and this will be the last one that we answer. Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Chris Godwin, Trey McBride, pick 2. I'm rolling with Godwin and McBride, to be honest. Nico Collins and Devonta, you sitting those 2 guys for Godwin and McBride? Or actually, no, I think I would go Devonta over Godwin.
Yeah, no, I would too.
So Devonta and McBride, you're going to roll with those 2 guys? Or are you going to go with 2 wide receivers here?
McBride and Nico.
You'd go. So we're all over the place on this question.
Where are
This
you
is
going?
a hard one, dude. Andrew, you got a tough question here because these are all pretty comparable dudes. I mean, maybe you want to use a tiebreaker. Devontae's coming into the game banged up. In that case, I would go McBride and Godwin because Godwin's got 11 targets in 2 straight games, 40% target share over the last 2 weeks. Jaguars are giving it up to wide receivers.
I'm going Nico over Godwin.
McBride is literally a lock for like 10 targets a game right now. So he probably.
You're not sitting McBride. I would go with Nico over Godwin.
Yeah, for sure. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, sorry we didn't get to all of your questions. We did try to get through as many as we could. And again, we dropped the start set rankings in the chat. If you guys need more answers, you guys can see that in our weekly rankings. But again, good luck this week. Hopefully we see you in week 17 for the Fantasy Football Championship. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that good stuff. Peace out.